The COVID-19 virus reached Canada in early 2020. The province started lockdowns when I was still in high school. At first, we thought we would be gone from school for a few weeks, a small vacation from the monotony of school at most. It soon became evident that we would not be returning anytime soon. The school board scrambled to find a way to teach remotely. They started doing video meetings to substitute for classes, and homework was to be printed out and photos sent to teachers. It was a time of great isolation for me. I never really realized how important the social interactions of school were until I was all alone staring at a screen. Every time I got up from my desk, the first thing I would notice were the piles of homework ordered on the floor. This was when we were still using paper copies for most things, so rather than having a cluttered desktop, I had a cluttered floor. I remember literally walking over piles of physics notes to get to my computer. Things were messy in the beginning, but soon it devolved back into monotony. Schoolwork became my life. I would get up and get breakfast, then I would be onto the computer until around 3 p.m. I would take a short break, and then I was on to homework for the next 2 hours. Rinse and repeat, day after day. The only time I left the house was to go to work. I'm a frontline worker. I worked in a grocery store stocking shelves during the pandemic. I remember vividly the first few weeks when everyone was panic buying. People mostly remember the shortages of toilet paper and hand sanitizer. I remember the mass buying of food. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. By the time I had put out a box of product, 2 more areas had already been depleted. My experiences in the beginning of the pandemic really affected me, although at the time I didn't know it. I remember the isolation I felt in the beginning. I didn't just lose contact with my peers, I also lost contact with my friends. We tried to stay connected with platforms like Discord, but just as online meetings are a poor substitute for classrooms, it's hard to stay connected with someone when you only ever see them through a screen. The only time I didn't feel isolated was at work. Other than my family, the only people I saw in person regularly were my coworkers. I worked in shifts with a butcher, and for several hours a day, he was the only company I had. It was a scary time. Life is much better now. I've gotten vaccinated, and a lot of the fear I used to have has subsided. At the time, I felt very trapped, and I still do to some extent, but I am so grateful that I have my friends and my family with me during the pandemic. I am also immeasurably grateful that no one in my immediate family contracted the virus. I'm very thankful for that. I know that far too many were not fortunate enough to get through this pandemic, and my heart goes out to their loved ones. The pandemic has taught me a lot about myself, both through the bad experiences and the good people who helped me through. But one thing is for sure, it is an experience I will never, ever forget.